Coming up on today's episode, NFL Championship recap. Boy, we have a thriller this past weekend. Some boneheaded coaching on both sides. I'm going to get into my little rant all about it. It's going to lose yourself in the moment. There's so many... whatever. Whatever. Cue the music. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's Sports Talk from the Crib, and I'm your host, Tanner Christian. Coming up on today's episode, yes, we're going to talk about NFL Championship recap. You know, Lamar Jackson having his shot. This is his moment, right? Did he fulfill it? And how about those Lions? Did they cost themselves a Super Bowl by some questionable, coaching decisions? So that's what we're going to talk about on today's episodes. But, if you're new, episodes are airing every Tuesday and Friday. It's available on all streaming platforms as well on the website, sportstalkfromthecrib.com. And be sure to follow us on social media at Feel the Heat Entertainment. That's Feel the Heat, E-N-T. We're on Instagram, Facebook, X, and everything, YouTube. So go check us out and give us a follow on those channels and subscribe. Let's go. So, NFL Championship games. We're going to start off here with the Lions and the 49ers. Niners won 34-31. Lions had a big lead, 24-7 at halftime. You thought they were rolling, just running the ball so well and whatnot. The Niners ended up getting it. Let's get in some stats for our deep dive here and give really my thoughts on how this happened. So we have Brock Purdy at 20 for 31, 267 yards, a TD, and also a pick. Christian McCaffrey, 20 rushes, 90 yards, 2 TDs. On the opposite side, Jared Goff, 25 for 41, 273 yards, and a touchdown. Montgomery had a touchdown. Gibbs had a touchdown. Jameson Williams had a couple. Well, this wasn't enough to defeat the Niners. Now, here we go. This is my biggest takeaway from this game. Lions had the first Super Bowl appearance in Reese. They're up 24-7, had a fantastic first half. Second half came, and it just, fell apart. And there's some questionable coaching decisions happening in the game. And some this questionable calls in key moments that just made you scratch your head. Man, was the moment really too big for Dan Campbell or what? Coach of the year, fantastic guy, praising us, so proud of his team. And damn, man, you may have been the one that cost your team Super Bowl. And this is why. So, two different situations happened in the second half where he went for it on fourth down when he could have kicked the field goal. He opted to go for it on fourth down. Now, if he executes, it's a different story, right? They've been all year long, 34% of the time they go for it on fourth down, which is an incredibly high number. So that's their game. They did it all year. But when it comes to playoff time, you see the direction the game is going, I really think you gotta take the points. This isn't the regular season. You gotta get points when it matters most in the playoffs. You can't give a window of hope to the opposing team. I feel like he did that by going for it on fourth down. Now, Reynolds did miss a pass on one of them, and the other one that didn't work, But there was a drop pass, right? Hey, if you completes that pass, it's a different story, whatever. But you never know. They may go for it again on fourth down. You never know how the drive may end up being. But there was two different situations where he opted to not kick a field goal and go for it, and they missed. And there was, Jahmyr Gibbs fumbling in his own territory, and just the swing momentum was just, crazy there for the Lions. But this is the key stat for me in this game. The Niners scored 27 unanswered points after trailing 24-7. This is where I have the problem with what the Lions did. When you're up 17 points going into the half, you're running the ball efficiently, right? You had 21 attempts in the first half rushing. Montgomery can't stop him. Gibbs can't stop him. Jameson Williams had a 42-yard run himself on his only carry. And too much speed. They couldn't stop the run. They were struggling so much. And then the second half comes, and you have 7 attempts. Why are you passing the ball so much in the second half when you're up? Leading 17, you see the lead dwindle. Now it's down to 10. Now it's down to 3. So, whoa. You lost the game because of that. 7 attempts in the second half for only 34 yards. The first half, they had 146 rushing yards. How do you not have the ball in the ground game in the second half? You had 146 in the first half. Montgomery, 15 rushes, 93 yards on the game. He's at 6.2 yards per carry. Why not give him the ball? Gibbs, 12 rushes, 45 yards in a touchdown. I mentioned Jameis Williamson. That was his only carry of the game. Wasn't that one of the first drive where he had that 42-yard rush to? Why not try to get him the ball again like that? Get him out in the open field. Use his speed. This really perplexed me of how they refused to run the ball in the second half. And to me, that's why they really lost this game, because you allowed them to, get back into the game. And then the other questionable call, speaking of that, they gave it to Montgomery on a 3rd and goal. They were trying to get back in the game with under a minute left. They cut the deficit to 34-31, but they ran the ball, had to burn a timeout. So then they're down to 2 timeouts with about 50 seconds left. You have to recover that onside kick. You needed that 3rd timeout. So that was another bad call to do. They threw the ball the first 2 times, then ran it with Montgomery on the 3rd and goal, and then 4th and goal they got Jameson Williams in the end zone. But running the ball and getting tackled and bounced, like that was another questionable call to make in that situation in that time. So I think the coaching staff for Detroit just got a little bit into their own ways and really kind of cost their team. Yes, players got to make plays, but to me, those calls in those situations and what happened and going for on those 2 4th downs that really turned this game around, and this is why San Francisco is moving on. Speaking of this, let's get into the next one. Chiefs-Ravens. The Chiefs beat the Ravens 17-10, advancing into their back-to-back years into the Super Bowl, trying to repeat. Ravens fell short. Okay, let's get into the stats of this game. This is going to get me heated here because it's kind of what happened in that Detroit game. This is what Baltimore ended up doing. But Pat Mahomes, 30 for 39, 241 yards, a touchdown. Big reason is he went to his main target. Key to this win, 11 targets went to Kelsey. He caught all 11 of them for 116 yards and a TD. Lamar Jackson, 20 of 37, 272 yards, a touchdown, but that key interception in the end of the game kind of sealed the deal for the Chiefs. So, Ravens, you have the Chiefs at home in your house, right? And you can't seal the deal. MVP Lamar Jackson can't seal the deal. This is the Ravens team, number 1 ranked defense in the league. Doesn't let up points, number 1 ranked pass defense, and all this stuff. Couldn't stop Travis Kelce. Kyle Hamilton couldn't guard him, huh? Is that what happened? Lamar Jackson couldn't, shake and bake, get through the D and KC? Nope. Why? MVP, man. This is why. This is why the Baltimore Ravens lost. And this is what I've been saying literally after every game in these playoffs, how I felt. They get stagnant, right? It seems like they can really win, but they get too pass happy. They like to put the ball in Lamar's hands. We're not going to run the ball. Lamar, you are the ball. Like, you're the running back and the quarterback, okay? This is what I thought would happen previous weeks and why they couldn't advance. Well, it happened this time in the AFC Championship game, the most important game to get you to the Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson's been wanting it, right? MVP. Check out this stat. Lamar Jackson had 8 rushes for 54 yards. He led the team. Gus Edwards, 3 carries, 20 yards. Zay Flowers even had 2 carries, 4 yards. Justice Hill, 3 carries, 3 yards. What is the whopping stat in this? Their running backs had 6 carries the entire game. What? The number 1 rushing attack in the entire NFL didn't want to run the ball? Didn't want to hand the ball off to one of their running backs? Did they forget that that's what they do? They run the ball, you hand the ball off to them? Or that position didn't exist. That position did not exist. And I knew it was not going to exist because when the first play of the game, Justice Hill's out there and they're in spread formation. What are you doing? It set the Chiefs, Steve Spagnuolo really did not have to make any adjustments for the Chiefs defense because Todd Monken, their offensive coordinator, thought this would be a good idea going into the game. We're just going to try and throw the ball deep, take so many shots deep, and not hand the ball off at all. Lamar Jackson, you want to be the MVP? Here you go. I'm not going to call not one play for you to have more design runs for you or hand the ball off. You better throw it deep, try to hit OBJ, try to hit Zay Flowers deep. Like Lamar Jackson played bad too. Even that one long reception that Zay Flowers had. Like that was a horrible pass. Everything was underthrown or just bombed out of bounds. Like he played bad too, but damn, what kind of play calling are we doing? Where Gus Edwards busts out a 15-yard run and then gets another 5, but then it gets stuffed like one more time because you just don't want to give him the ball. Like this dude was going to have a game, I bet, if you just handed him off the ball. No one rushing attack, and you give your running back 6 carries, and only 3 of them go to Gus Edwards? That dude should have at least gotten a dozen carries this game. And then Justice Hill should have added another 3 or 4 to his. They should have at least gotten a combined 20 carries in this game. What happened to Dalvin Cook? He played late last year. He didn't even play this game. What was the point of that signing? Hey, we're going to go to the Super Bowl. You get a free ride, and then you lose in the AFC Championship game because he's too bad to back down on the depth chart. You're not going to run the ball anyway, so there's no use of him. Like, come on. Todd Monken, what do you like? Everybody praised you so. Yeah, 8th ranked offensive efficiency. Can't even say the word in the NFL this year, and then you do this. Lamar Jackson, his interception, throws it in the triple coverage. He's like slowing down his runs for it to get to. Like I don't know what the heck happened in this second half, but it was that bad. Like, come on. Talk about losing yourself. You gotta lose yourself in the moment, but it's not a good moment because used it in like a different way. Like, come on. But anyways, man, Lamar Jackson's gonna be MVP. I'm gonna have to deal with it, and he choked again in the playoffs. You know, all the weapons this year, and couldn't finish it. They even had Mark Andrews back as well. Isaiah Likely's been playing well. And for some reason, you didn't even give them the ball. Like, the whole game plan made 0 sense. And that's why y'all sitting at home. And the Chiefs are going back to the Super Bowl because Andy Reid knows how to coach. And Steve Spagnuolo, their defensive coordinator, knows how to coach. That's it. That was do it for today's episode. I want to thank you all for joining me here on Sports Talk from the Crib with your favorite sports host, Tanner Christian. Be sure to follow us on social media at Feel the Heat Entertainment. It's Feel the Heat ENT. And Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and X. And new episodes are airing Tuesday and Friday. It's available on all streaming platforms. Check out the website, sportstalkfromthecrib.com. That'll do it for today's episode. Peace.